This morning we welcome back to the show our friend Craig Douglas. He's worked with SVSU. He's been an administrator, leadership coach, superintendent. He's done pretty much everything in the world of education. And on this week's Educating Mid-Michigan segment, we are talking about how to help students grow as young readers. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Yes, such an important topic
It
here.
is.
And let's take it all the way back to the bedtime story. Let's start there. You know, how important is that in your eyes?
That's a great point. You know, sometimes I think we overthink it, and we think teaching reading is very complex, and really it's pretty basic. And you're right, reading at bedtime is a great first step. That reading aloud function really helps accelerate the student's understanding. And occasionally, if the parent lets the student read back and forth, so it's kind of a double team, that's a great way to model the best way to read. And that reading at night is a great way to calm the mindset, preparing for rest.
There you go. And you know, talk about how do pictures, characters, and context help generate questions for young readers. Why is it important to discuss what you're reading?
All are super important factors in terms of accelerating the child's understanding. Let's say, for example, we're reading a story about Abe Lincoln. That's pretty typical and it's pretty exciting for young readers. Well, just simply the story of Abe Lincoln, the era that he grew up in, the type of challenges that he must have faced growing up in that era. Then later in his adult life, the challenges he faced. All those are great ways to probe deeper into the context of who Abe Lincoln was and what he means to us.
Gets their wheels turning.
Exactly. One question begets four questions, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a real synergy.
Yes, for those who have young kids, including myself, you realize kids are full of questions and you got to be prepared to answer them. And reading helps doing that. Let's talk about how reading just overall impacts one's vocabulary.
Absolutely. The key to growth is to expand the vocabulary. And that means having confidence to sound out words and to understand what different prefixes and suffixes may mean to the context of the word. I've watched a lot of really strong teachers teach in lower elementary, and a great deal of their time, Matt, is spent on expanding vocabulary. And a lot of time it's repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yes, and then finally here, let's talk about just how this sparks just basic interest and motivation in a child, because there's endless topics to explore in a book.
Absolutely. I mentioned Abe Lincoln. That might spark interest in government or history or geography. As a youngster, I loved biographies, and I learned about baseball and baseball players, players like Clemente, Mantle, Mays. That really sparked my interest in the game of baseball.
And you remember those names.
Oh, yeah. It may seem corny, but it helped expand my knowledge of where they came from, the challenges they faced, how gifted they were, where they had shortcomings. All those are great transitions to other walks of life.
Yeah, there's some resources as well on your screen to maybe get some ideas on how to approach reading with younger people, but bottom line, it's the foundation of education, right?
Absolutely. Can I highlight the Michigan Learning
Sure.
Channel, something PBS offers? It's offered over the air and also online. I'll probably circle back on that. It's a great topic in itself. Why? Because it's free and it's resources that are age appropriate.
Yes, we like the sound of free resources. Thank you so much, Craig, for coming in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.